They said we couldn't do 1.5. We did 1.5. We removed business taxes and then we gave another 1.5. We removed 1.5% of the GCT. Historic, unheard of. So there is no question about our ability to manage the economy. This government abolished the minimum business tax put on by that government. This government abolished the asset tax put on by that government. We abolished the ad valorem stamp duty on real estate and financial transactions. We slashed transfer tax on real estate transactions. We increased the GCT threshold for small businesses from 3 million to 10 million. We introduced for the first time a $350,000 MSME tax credit. Mr. Speaker, we increased the income tax threshold to 1.5 million when they said it couldn't be done. Mr. Speaker, most Jamaicans alive today would have lived through an era of high interest rates, where if there were any movement, it would be up in interest rates. Mr. Speaker, this government, under good leadership and administration, interest rates, Mr. Speaker, were reduced 10 times since 2018, leading to the lowest levels of interest rates for mortgages and consumer loans in the history of Jamaica. Mr. Speaker, one of the proudest moments of this government, and certainly for the Minister of Tourism, we introduced the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, giving 100,000 tourism workers the opportunity to earn a pension. Mr. Speaker, we broaden the ownership of the economy, with 30,000 Jamaicans becoming shareholders of Wigton and Trans-Jamaica Highway. We reduced the rate of GCT by 1.5%. Mr. Speaker, under this government, Jamaica experienced the lowest level of unemployment in the history of the recording of the statistics. Mr. Speaker, under this government, the consumers and fixed income earners enjoyed the most stable period of low inflation in Jamaica. Mr. Speaker, this government went through difficult times, but by virtue of the policies that we put in place, we were able to see a 40% reduction in poverty in Jamaica.
A long time we are waiting for the date, and now we get it. We're marching on to victory.
Labor rights! Labor rights! We're looking good. We're looking really good. As I drove in, I scratched my head because I wonder where so much labor right come from. So I turn to the most honorable Mrs. Brogard. Juliet, And I said to her, next year it looked like we have to go in the stadium. Because there is no place in the arena to hold the crowd that is here. I would estimate that at least 6 times the number of persons inside here are outside the arena. At least. I want to thank God for sparing our lives, for keeping us firm and strong, so that we can see another year at conference.
So you keep me firm and strong, yeah. Give me the energy me need.
We give God thanks for the life and service of the Most Honorable Edward Philip George Siaga. For Ken Baugh and all the other stalwarts that have gone before us. We give thanks for their life, and we remember them, and we honor them by us being true to the principles of the Jamaica Labour Party and us committing to build on the legacy that they have left behind. Our conference theme this year is Building Jamaica, and I know that every single delegate, every single worker, every single supporter of the Labour Party here today believes in the mission of building Jamaica. I know that you believe that we have the right set of plans and we have the right set of hands working to build Jamaica. I want to thank all of you who are here today. Some of you got up from very early this morning, put your rice and peas to soak, jump on the bus. Some of you never eat any breakfast. You took the long ride, rain or shine, good times or bad times. You have been faithful to the party. You are the heart and soul of the party.
We do it for the love, and I do it for the likes. Do it for the love, and I do it for the likes. Do it for the love, and I do it for the likes.
You give me the energy that I need. I am inspired when I see the commitment in your eyes and when I hear the passion in your voices.
You make me stronger. Oh.
I want to thank you for your participation and support. You make me stronger. Yes, DJ.
You make me stronger. Oh, oh.
You make the Labour Party stronger. You make our democracy stronger. Because you turning out here, jumping on that bus and coming to sit down here and listening to the speeches and the fraternity of seeing your friends, that is a critical part of the democracy of this country. You make Jamaica stronger.
You make me stronger. Come on. Say.
There was a time, when people used to be closet labor rights. The one show to them a labor right. Not so anymore. I see people that walk up and down all over in a them green shirt, in a supermarket, in a plaza, I go all over because you are proud to be a member and supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party. I want to thank our special guests, Mr. Janelle Powell, the chairman of the People's Action Movement in St. Kitts and Nevis, and my very good friend, the Honorable young boy Keith Mitchell. You see how him dress? As like-minded political organizations, we believe in democracy and legitimate government. We believe in competitive markets, freedom of the individual to work and innovate, to create wealth for their fulfillment, giving people the opportunity to have decent work is the greatest means of social transformation and economic independence and empowerment. As like-minded political organizations, we believe in positive social action to end intergenerational poverty and close the historic gaps of unequal endowment by giving every person equal opportunity to compete in our society and economy. As like-minded political parties, we believe in the sustainable use of our natural resources and environment. It is important for the regional fraternity that we continue to work together, sharing the common platform of our beliefs through the Caribbean Democratic Union to ensure Caribbean economies and societies progress to prosperity in line with our principles, and that the region remains the most peaceful and politically stable region on earth. The Jamaica Labour Party views CARICOM as an important regional institution. It is for this reason that in July 2016 I commissioned a report on CARICOM led by former Prime Minister Bruce Orrit Golding, the driver. To examine our relationship with CARICOM and the institutions of CARICOM to see whether or not they are meeting the objectives for which they were established. The report initiated much debate, and the debate is ongoing. But Jamaica now has a firm position on CARICOM. We believe that CARICOM and the single market is an extension of our local market. We believe in the free movement of goods, services, capital, people, and intellectual property. We know that there are challenges within CARICOM to achieve these goals. But I am heartened when I see that the private sector in CARICOM has decided to come together and work towards achieving these core principles. Keith, I am sure that in our lifetime, we will be able to truly achieve a CARICOM single market and economy where all CARICOM citizens, residents, CARICOM and Caribbean people will be able to move around freely and call each territory their home. That is part of the strategy of building Jamaica by expanding our markets. The Jamaica Labour Party, since taking government, has increased Jamaica's presence and participation on the global scale. I am not certain if there has ever been a time in Jamaica's history where Jamaica has had such a global and international profile. And I'm pleased to say that we have good diplomatic relations with everyone with which we are engaged. But we have always had a foreign policy based on principles. We believe in multilateralism with special and differential treatment for trade for small developing economies. We believe in democracy, the rule of law and human rights, and we believe in the non-interference in the domestic affairs of sovereign countries. That has always been the core of our foreign policy, and that hasn't changed. But foreign policy is not just for foreign policy's sake. Foreign policy must support our economic development. So we engage strategically in our foreign relations to improve our economy and society. Through our foreign policy, we will build Jamaica as an open, free, democratic, competitive, efficient, safe, secure, smart, and sustainable society where people from all over the world will choose to invest, trade, innovate, produce, live, leisure, raise families, and retire in paradise. In September of this year, I visited the White House and we had a summit with Vice President Pence. I see the US ambassador here in the audience. We have started discussions on a new framework of cooperation between our two countries to address national security, trade and investment, and resilience, and energy. You would see that we have signed a new memorandum of cooperation on intercept. We didn't sign it in secret. It's not a secret MOU. It is something that is done with the knowledge and consent of the cabinet, and all the relevant authorities have reviewed it and have acted in the interest of the people of Jamaica. Nothing in secret. Within that framework, there are other cooperation agreements that we are signing with customs, with border control and protection, all kinds of agreements. Our relationship with the United States of America is as strong as it ever was, and I dare say is stronger now than it was ever before. We are now out of an IMF agreement. When we were in the IMF agreement, it was not easy. But we had friends in the United States. And I want to take this opportunity to publicly acknowledge the Congressional Black Caucus, who was very instrumental in the government getting the IMF deal. And I want to thank the U.S. Treasury Department, who supported, guided, and continue to give support for developing Jamaica's capacity to manage and successfully conclude the IMF program. We have a special cooperation with the EU. And I see Ambassador Vashaleska here with us representing the EU countries. They are helping, like the United States, to build Jamaica in the area of community development and security. The two things go together, and the EU is providing us with support of 20 million euros. And we will be using this to support a strategy of intervention in crime-riddled communities. Remember, I told you, we identified 20 communities that are responsible for a significant percent of crime and violence in Jamaica. Our crime-fighting strategy is not just dependent on police and states of public emergency. Those measures cannot by themselves bring down our murder rate. There has to be a long-term, sustained intervention in communities. And we have shown in Mount Salem and in Denham Town that with that kind of joined-up approach from government and that focused approach on security and community development, we can bring down crime. So next year, labor rights, Jamaicans, we will be able to increase the number of communities that are under the zones of special operations. We will be able to add at least 4 more communities. And that, labor rights, will have a signal effect on bringing down crime, not just temporarily, but a long-term downward trajectory in crime. The government of Jamaica will be adding resources to that as well. And so you're going to hear an announcement of not just 4, but possibly an additional 3 communities. So we are moving very quickly to cover all those 20 communities that we have identified and have them under zones of special operations where we can control crime and at the same time allow the community peace to build and flourish and grow. That is how we use our diplomatic relations to build Jamaica through strategic cooperations, and we are building Jamaica one community at a time. Crime is one thing, but labor rights, violence is another. Man to man is so unjust. Man to woman sometimes so unjust. Parent to child sometimes so unjust. We're becoming too aggressive. And these are the things that must be brought to the platform of the political party. Because all of you here are influencers in your own community. The violence is getting too much now. Too much. So I have commissioned a study led by a well-known and respected university professor who has done great work in early childhood development, Professor Sams Vaughan. And she has assembled an expert team to pull this together, along with support from the British Department for International Development, DFID. And that report will guide the government as to the legislative changes that need to be made. Some are already underway. And to the programs that we need to put in to make Jamaica a gentler, more loving society. Labor rights, the violence is affecting our brand. Brand Jamaica is a big brand, you know, but nobody owns it. And when you do studies on the brand, you find that the brand is being affected by some negative things that is causing the products that we produce, including our music and our cultural assets, not to be as accepted as they should be. So your government has now put in place a program. We have approved a project to start to now own Brand Jamaica. We are going to study it. We have approved the financing for it. But more than that, we are going to develop now the ownership of both the intellectual property and the real assets that contribute to the brand. So now you have man producing, using the name Blue Mountain Coffee, and that coffee never even picked from Blue Mountain. We have people using Brand Jamaica to market their products all over, and some of them never see Jamaica before. We have some really important assets that contribute to Brand Jamaica. Take, for example, Dunn's River Falls. You can't find a more beautiful fall of that nature in the world. And we have it here. It's a brand. We have Port Royal. You can't find another city in this region with as much history as Port Royal. And we have other assets all over. What we're going to do is to create a special trust to own those brands so that nobody can sell them. Nobody can use it without permission. So that they will always remain in the heritage and ownership of the people of Jamaica. Many of these assets are now in the UDC. We have asked the UDC to ring fence them and start the process now of putting them in a trust. And once they are in a trust, nobody can touch them. Government can't touch them, private sector can't touch them. We own those properties, including some of our beaches, because we hear the cry, we hear the frustration on the ground that people can't get access to their beaches. So in building Jamaica, it's not just building. It's about how man relate to woman and woman relate to children, and we relate to each other as people. It's about protecting and building up our intellectual property that we create, and it is about preserving our built and natural environment so that the people and generations to come can have it to enjoy. We can't build Jamaica in chaos. And I see the chaos and indeed the mayhem sometimes on our roads. It has not escaped me. And as supporters of the party, I hear the complaints from you as well. Boy, the taxi man them. Now I want it to be understood that the Labour Party understands and appreciates the culture of going out there and earning your own bread. That is the Labour Party culture. Earning your own bread. And we have supported taximen. We have made it possible for them to renew their fleet. And now the Minister of Transport is making an investment in their training. So we understand. But I want the taximen and road users as well to appreciate that there can be no prosperity in chaos and disorder. So we have put together a set of plans to address this, starting next year. The first thing is that we need to be able to detect very quickly road users who are breaching the Road Traffic Act. And it is not always that there will be a policeman at every stoplight. But believe me when I tell you that next year there will be a program to have smart technology, including cameras at every single stoplight in the corporate area and in rural townships and urban townships where stoplights exist. The NWA has now submitted to me a plan which will incorporate the private sector to build out the number of stoplights and smart technology throughout our city. The law has been modified to allow for prosecution of persons who have been detected by electronic means. There must be order on our roads. Next year, we have discussed with the Commissioner of Police the start of zero tolerance areas. There are some places in Jamaica where you have to consider they are critical public spaces. If there is chaos in those areas, it affects everywhere else. One place comes to mind readily, and you will agree, Halfway Tree. If Halfway Tree is the center of our city and critical public space, it can be chaos. So I have told the Commissioner, and the Commissioner is already putting in place those plans, that Halfway Tree must be one of the first places in which the policy of zero tolerance for breaches of the Road Traffic Act and all the other laws for public order must be instituted. Labor rights. We are now entering what is called the fourth industrial revolution. What is that? That is the era where everything is connected by the internet. That is the era where you have artificial intelligence, meaning that you have enough data on almost everything that is happening that you can use analytics to make decisions. You can use mathematical formulas to make decisions. It is not necessarily a replacement of human intelligence or human labor, but it can be. It can be if we do not become the producers of the technology, the users of the big data, the creators of the software and the machinery that uses that software. We can be left behind. In the 80s, we recognized the need for technical and vocational skills, and we introduced something called TechVoc in our schools, and we built hard to train our people in technical and vocational skills. That is still needed, still important. But if we are going to survive as a people in this new age of technology, we now need to make the investment in a new kind of education for our children. In February, I will be launching a new education transformation program for Jamaica. That program will be geared towards ensuring that Jamaica can leapfrog into the 21st century and that our human resources can be empowered with 21st century skills to get the 21st century jobs so that we can become a leading and prosperous nation in the 21st century.
I can, yeah. My 2 hands in the air as far as I can.
On my recent visit to China, in our bilateral discussions, amongst other strategic discussions on trade and investment, we spoke about education and technology. And the Chinese government has agreed that they will assist us in building 3 new STEM schools. You know what STEM means? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The government of Jamaica will also fund 3 additional STEM schools, and they will be spread strategically right across Jamaica. So we will be doing, within the next 6 years, 6 new STEM schools. That is conservative. Depending on how our economy does, I am committed to putting more resources and putting resources faster to this project so we may be able to have them within 3 years. Let me be clear. These schools will not be operated under the old Education Act. These schools will be created under a different framework called schools. We call these schools centers of excellence. They will be operated as academies. They will have to adhere both in their instruction and management and in how they operate as a school. They will have to adhere to the highest standards of excellence. None of this disorder and chaotic and disrespectful behavior, either on the part of students, teachers, or parents. It must be a place that when you go to those schools, you come out as being an ambassador for the best that the society has to offer.
Step up in life and go forward, you know.
We cannot build a Jamaica with the chaka-chaka behavior, with the disrespectful behavior, with the informal behavior. We must build a Jamaica on the plane of respect, with our eyes cast for excellence and the highest standards. That is the kind of Jamaica that we are going to build, where people have the emotional intelligence to treat justly and fairly, man to man, woman to woman, children. Because labor rights, I'm sure you will agree with me, that sometimes it feels that there is a decay taking place in our society. And we cannot preside over a society in which its economy is growing and all the signs are showing that we are doing well, but socially we are regressing. So the party is very concerned about that. And we will return the highest standards to our culture, the highest standards to our society and our people.
I am a success story, yeah, success, a success story.
We are progressing to prosperity. But that progress to prosperity sometimes can seem very unfair to people who have not yet seen or felt the benefit. They see others progressing, they see people getting employed, but they can't get employed. They see people getting houses, but they can't get houses. And it can cause in the society a kind of alienation. And we are sensitive to that. And that is why we emphasize equal opportunity. And the best way to equalize opportunity is to give every single Jamaican, especially the Jamaican that is poor, access to education.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty.
But there is another dimension of poverty, and that is income. And you can seek to correct that in two ways. You can give people welfare grants, and we do that through path, which we call that now a conditional cash transfer. We give you that money if you're sending your children to school. We give you that money if you're pregnant and lactating. But now, we believe that we have to now create the opportunity where you can work for that money. And not just, as we call it in Jamaica, giveaway work. We write down your name that you're working, but you don't come to work. There are so many things to be done in Jamaica. So many programs that we can create to get people employed, which we have done through the Hope program, which by now we would have over 26,000 youngsters engaged in the Hope program. But now we need to reach out to that person in rural Jamaica who not making nothing of agriculture right now, who only able to do one day's work. That mother who is struggling with 3 children going to school and just can't find her way. We have so many problems, environmental problems. We see the threat of dengue. And these are caused by how we manage our environment, how we maintain our environment, how we conduct the regular maintenance of our environment. And sometime long ago, we had a program called the Lentman program. Some of you might remember that. We're going to return that program. Right across Jamaica, we will be enlisting the services of Jamaicans to maintain on a regular basis, using technology to monitor and report, maintain our roadways and verges, maintain our drains and gullies, to return to the government critical information about rainfall and other environmental threats that are happening. So each Lentman will have a certain mile of road, or chains as they call it, to maintain, and they will be paid for that. We expect that that will employ a significant number of people right across rural Jamaica to ensure that they get a little piece of the prosperity, that they get a little income to help bump them out of poverty. I talk long. All right. I see the anticipation. I hear Bruce say, it can be too long. And I hear Bobby say, we're not quite there yet. The two are correct. It's not too long to come, but we're not there yet. But what I would say to you today, you ready? What I will say to you today, this government has not been without its challenges. I couldn't leave this stage without saying to you that corruption is not an issue that occupies the front of my mind. I couldn't leave here today and say to you that we still need to tighten up on the new anti-corruption systems and framework that is in place. In a sense, if you were to compare Jamaica to all the other countries in the Caribbean, our framework for anti-corruption would be the most advanced. It is not for want of putting in the legislative and institutional processes. They are there. But you have to bear in mind that we are also very new on the scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. But outside of that, by all measure, by any measure, this government is doing well. This government is a legitimate government. This government has wide-based national support. This government has wide-based international support. And this government is doing everything in its power. This party is doing everything in its power to transform itself. When you look at this conference, it isn't the same conference as last year or the year before or the year before. The conference is bigger. The conference is more organized. The conference looks like any international conference that you go to. Look at the Jamaica Labour Party.
Do something, do something, do something. And I'm back a lot talking, no, just do something.
The Labour Party is ready to take on a second term to work in your service.
Do something, do something, do something, do something.
And very soon, we will have everything in place. And when everything is in place, you will see me reach for this bell. So as Manayard would say, come up here, Manayard.
Cock up your foot. Get ready for the second term and watch Andrew Holness take them out.
So Labourites, it was a great conference. So when you go home, Manayard would have said, cock up your foot and draw for your whiskey and wait for the announcement. But when you go home, you're going to give the message that you got here of all the things we plan to do next year. You're going to go on the road right away and start your campaign. You're going to start your enumeration. You're going to start your canvassing. You're going to get your workers ready. You're going to put everything in place in your community. Because when the time comes and the bell ring, it will be the Jamaica Labour Party that will form the second term of this government. God bless you. I love you. Return home safely until I see you.
I know what you hear the Prime Minister say. Go home, get ready, do everything that is necessary because the Labour Party is going to be marching to victory whenever Andrew Holness name the date.
Party marching on, alright, marching on to victory. Labour Party marching.
us give Prime Minister Andrew Holness another great big round of applause. Before we close, it is customary that labor rights on an occasion like this hold hands, because we can't walk without the presence and the touch of the party's anthem.
And justice is our everlasting song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember Bustamante, he served you well. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell.
God bless you.
JLP cares for Jamaica. Come on, come on, come on, come on, yeah. I'm calling everyone who loves sweet Jamaica to stand and show our national pride. Out of many, one people, still so much love. You see our government is doing what's right. We care for roads and community, rebuilding integrity. We care for your families. Come on and do your part. Vote for the best. Vote for Jamaican Labour Party. Straight from your heart. Vote for the best. Let's go to a future of prosperity with JLP. We care for safety and we care for job creation, reducing crime and boosting education. We will succeed if we work hand in hand with Andrew Holness, uniting this nation. So we care for the future with lighting and cleaner communities. No, we care. Come on and do your part. Vote for the best. Vote for Jamaican Labour Party. Straight from your heart. Vote for the best. Let's go to a future of prosperity.
How you saying? Let me tell you how proud I am to see a Jamaican, the great Usain Bolt, having his own special edition shoes. Branding. Big up Usain.
Still I count all money, I'm in a job, my own money. When I make it, I like to spin it. Just turn it around and spin it. Millions are in the billy. No one bag of teeth when you see me. So fresh cash, fresh cash, fresh cash. One name finger shoulder. Alright, see the boss. The boss said, people again now, people again now. Here we go. So